name's Andy Tidy and welcome back to another edition of Canal Hunter. If you're new to my channel, the underlying objective is to explore the lost canals of the Birmingham Canal navigations. They are 160 miles of canals that used to exist in and around Birmingham in the UK. Now, of those 160 miles, about 60 miles were lost in the 1950s and 1960s. And it's those missing miles that I'm endeavouring to travel to see what remains still exist and to fit in all the archive photographs that I can find to give you an idea of what used to be there before. Now, this is Series 3 of Canal Hunter. Series 1 looked at the original Birmingham Canal, Birmingham to West Bromwich. Series 2 took the extension of that canal through from Smethwick all the way through to Wolverhampton, and then this Series 3 is looking at the Wyrley and Essington branches all the way from Wolverhampton to Huddlesford near Lichfield. If you find yourself captivated by these lost mysterious waterways, you'll find each series has got a playlist so you can go back and look at those to your heart's content. Now, Series 3, the lost sections off the Wyrley and Essington Canal, should have been completed in the spring of 2020. But I had to stop. I had to stop in the face of the UK lockdown of the COVID pandemic. And as a result, there has been a 6-month hiatus. You see, you can't go looking for lost canals when there is undergrowth up and the leaves are on the trees. So I've had to wait till the end of October before I can get out and finish the job. And the last section of lost canal off the Wyrley and Essington that I was looking at was known as the Ogley Locks. But the truth is, you probably know it as the Lichfield Canal. It's the stretch that goes down from Brown Hills all the way down the hill, round the back of Lichfield and out to Huddlesford. And I got as far as the Sandfields pumping station, which I showed you in last week's episode. I am absolutely cursed when it comes to filming these introductions. I am continually besieged by background noise. As soon as I get my GoPro out, someone will come out with a drill, an angle grinder, a strimmer, a lawnmower, anything that drives and makes whining noises, they'll start. Well, today I thought I'd found the perfect location, and lo and behold, a guy starts up a petrol hedge cutter. But anyway, I had a backup plan, and my backup plan is here at Gallows Wharf. A significant place. You see, where I last left the line of the old Ogley Locks branch, it had deviated away from the route that's being restored, or made new in this case, by the Lichfield and Essington Canal Restoration Trust. I'd gone down to the Sandfields pumping station, I'd cut across the back of the old brewery, and I'd come to the Birmingham Road bridge next to the car garage. This was a key area for the canal. It had numerous large basins which served the city of Lichfield. Well, for today, I had to cut round the back, round via Short Butts Lane, and to get to the other side of the Lichfield to Birmingham railway track. Because the canal used to go under the tracks, but in 1961, the land was sold off to British Rail and they widened the tracks and the bridge was obliterated. These days, the old line of the canal kind of goes through Nelson Crescent, under a fence, and then out to Short Butts Lane. And at Short Butts Lane, it goes down through the site of Lock 21. That's immediately to the north of Short Butts. Well, I've often said that developers don't much like using canal lines for housing, but in the area to the east of the railway line around Nelson Close, it has been built up and built over. But as soon as you get near Short Butts Lane and the site of Lock 21, suddenly you're back with the canal running exactly underneath the roadway. And then it continues over Short Butts Lane and on down. After going under Short Butts Lane, the road curves around from going southeast to east. There's an area of open ground and we approach the site of Lock 22 near Wordsworth Close. You can still see the drop in the open land today. And it's here that the old line of the canal starts to rejoin the new line which is being built. Now this whole area is the subject of an enormous Persimmon Homes building project, and they're also putting through a relief road as well. So the whole area is sewn up, locked tight, and there is no way you can go anywhere near it. I did poke my camera over the top of the fence to give you an idea of what's going on in there. You can kind of see the line of the track replicated in the trench running through the ground, which I'm not sure if that's the line of the canal where it's going to be. There's certainly an agreement to put the canal in there, but they're also putting in the services. Anyhow, I skirted around to London Road, and at London Road there's the site of the old St Johns Basin, a big basin that came off just above Lock 23. And then immediately downstream of Lock 23 there is the London Road Bridge, and that is where the old line and the new line of the canal completely combine. London Road Bridge still exists, and it's followed immediately by Gallows Wharf, which is where I am now. Gallows Wharf is one of the major development projects undertaken by the Lichfield and Essington Canal Society. They have really made a spectacular job of this particular wharf. The canal channel has been dug out, the towpath and the canal edging has all been reinstated, and it's from here that we're going to start to follow the line of the canal. But a word of warning, this isn't so much an abandoned canal, this is now a record of a canal in the process of restoration. Now, all this line of canal was abandoned in the 1950s. It served no purpose. The canal was originally used to transport coal down from the coalfields of Brownhills and Cannock, but all those mines have been played out. It was just absolutely redundant. So the line was largely abandoned. In the areas near Lichfield, it was built over, and the many road crossings in the area were built straight across the line. So they represent the biggest challenge towards the restoration of this canal. But anyhow, let's continue to move east, and we'll see what the restoration team have been up to. this is the top of Lock 24. As you can see, it's a chamber in its original state, dug out, but contains the infamous big pipe, and that's the drainage pipe that carries the residual water that comes down the canal channel and ultimately have to be removed. Now I would ask you to excuse the incessant road noise in this section. You see, we've come through locks 24, 25 and 26. They're all behind me with good pounds and they're pretty much ready to go. But it's at this point that the old line and the new line diverge again. The old line continued straight across what is now the A38. The problem is, the A38 road deck is almost exactly on the same level as the canal. And as it says in the old children's song, we can't go under it, we can't go over it, and in this case, we can't go through it, so we're going to have to go around it, which means going that way. And in my next canal hunt, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to the far side of the A38, and I'm going to see the site of locks 27 through to 30 at the bottom, all the way through to Huddlesford. But I can't leave this location without giving you a little insight into what lies in the route around the A38. So let's go this way and have a look. So this is really the end of the restored section for the time being. There are plans to put a marina entrance in over there. Whether that happens, it remains to be seen. This section holds water. It's been full to the top before in times of high rainfall, but it's kept empty for now. And then we have a narrows which will protect the embankment next to the A38 should there ever be a breach. And we have just one short restored section leading up to the next obstacle. So there's a small matter of building a bridge underneath the Tamworth Road. Then coming through here at a lower level, there is the pre-dug channel for the canal through Darnford Park. This line has all been preserved for the canal and the area allocated to its restoration. But if you look at the levels behind me, which are probably about 5 or 6 feet below my feet, and swing around, the levels beyond are probably 12 or maybe 15 feet below me. So it's at this point that there is planned to be a staircase lock, a brand new staircase lock. Now remember, this is not restoration, this is brand new canal building. So the canal restorers, instead of working through the brick remains of an old canal, are working through virgin ground. In that case, this case, pretty stable looking sandstone. Well, from the relative quiet of this new cutting, where the diverted route of the Lichfield Canal runs downhill in order to get underneath the A38, I'm going to bring this episode to a close. Hope you've enjoyed the little voyage of discovery through from the Birmingham Road in Lichfield, through the Gallows Wharf reconstruction area, through the older reconstructed area by Tamworth Road, and now finally down here to the Dartford Lane Park. In my next episode, I'm going to get to the other side of the A38 and follow the line all the way out in the countryside to the junction with the Coventry Canal at Huddlesford. But anyhow, for now, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I will see you soon. If you like this video, click subscribe and click notify, and that way you'll hear when any new episode is released. So take care and goodbye.